Graham Allison is joining us right now, former Assistant Secretary of Defense under President Clinton, current Douglas Dillon Professor at Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Graham, it's good to have you on the program this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. And kick us off with your initial reaction to what's taken place.
Well, I had been betting for 2 months that it was going to be a big win, and I believe it was. I think that Trump and Kim established a rapport, a genuine relationship. I think they opened a new chapter. They said all the right words. They actually put it in a broad context of transforming the relationship between the U.S. and the whole Korean peninsula. And now the hard work will begin to try to make that a reality. But I think in terms of a start, this is a significant new start.
What will the hard work be? Walk us through the hard work beginning now.
Well, when you say complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, the south is easy. There are no nuclear weapons there. So now we get to the north. In the north, there are more than 30 separate facilities that have nuclear weapons or nuclear weapons usable material that have been producing uranium and plutonium, that produce missiles that can deliver those. Those are complicated settings. It's even possible the U.S. doesn't know where all of them are. So the process of actually finding them, going to them, eliminating the nuclear weapons, eliminating the nuclear material, I believe this will be a multi-year process. But before we say, well, if it's going to take years, that's not a success, I don't agree with that at all. As long as we're on the path to taking specific steps toward denuclearization, and as long as North Korea is not testing nuclear weapons or missiles, which it was doing up until the beginning of this year, and as long as it's not selling any weapons or materials to anybody else, that's the best possible road we could be on compared to all the other realistic options at this point.
Graham, it's Dagan McDowell. What do you make of President Trump? Again, this was kind of the major detail from that press conference, saying we will stop the war games with South Korea. And he talked about how it will help save money, but stop the joint military exercises and essentially only resume them if we don't see future negotiations going as they should or going well. How big of a deal is that? And that's a major carrot to North Korea, is it not?
I think it is a major carrot for Korea. The South Korean, our allies, have already been pretty reserved about the military exercises. Actually, in the most recent military exercise, they didn't participate. So it is significant, but I don't think it's material in the sense of if there were to be a war on the Korean peninsula, the impact of whether we had an exercise or not this year or next year will not be significant. I think what it is significant for North Korea, though, is a signal that, as President Trump has said, if this relationship changes, everything could change. So I think what President Trump is doing is trying to get into Kim Jong Un's head the notion that North Korea does not have to be this isolated, impoverished hermit kingdom. Part of the reason why I believe he brought him to Singapore was to let him look and see what the world looks like. Yeah. I mean, Singapore looked like North Korea 60 years ago. Singapore is now a major modern megapolis. So he's trying to get in his head the notion that, well, why should North Korea be such a poor backorder?
Yeah, it's interesting to wonder what Kim Jong Un was thinking that could be possible for North Korea while walking around. Because I understand they took him to this. Yeah. I understand they took him to the Sands Hotel, took him to the top of the Sands Hotel where they have this incredible pool overlooking the city and seeing all of the activity. So you make an important point. You wonder if that is what he's thinking.